pick your battles, that's it. So, pick your battles. Am I going to die on this hill today? Knowing that, and I'm not sure if women are better at men than that, or either or, but certainly I think that all those traits that we've been talking about are important business traits for all of us, and the real magic is knowing when to use them, and getting a coach, having somebody who can give you honest feedback about how you show up in meetings and what you're saying and how that lands on people. I think that's also really important, and you can, given that self-awareness, you can certainly move along in the right direction.
Yeah, I agree with everything that Eileen and Lee have just spoken to, and
how female of you?
Huh? Well, and it's actually, but it absolutely, that it is. These are traits that are important, and you need to balance them absolutely. And you just, as I was listening to your stories, prompted a thought of some good coaching that I've had. I've been very fortunate. My boss has been a great coach over the years, and our CEO as well. And within the span of about 3 days, I'd say, when our CEO is up visiting, and when he comes for visits, we'll include him in various meetings. And this was a meeting related to a product that we had in the pipeline at that point. And things can get very tense, and timeline pressures, design challenges. Everybody understands that. And what I'll often use in meetings to alleviate some of that pressure is humor. And I used it in this one particular meeting where a CEO sat in, and after the meeting, he and I just had a closed door session, and he said, we're cut from the same cloth in many ways, and I see that you use humor quite effectively, in the meeting, but it's okay sometimes to slam your hand on the table and say, hey, this has got to get done, right? And, yell a bit, if you will, right? And I said, oh, you think I don't yell? I'm a yeller. It's okay, I use that card as well, but, I'm glad to hear that you respect that you need, both ends of the spectrum. And then within a couple of days, my boss, who has a very different style, and it's been interesting for me to observe both him and myself as we've grown over the years, how you build on your strength, and you develop sort of this different style as well as the need demands. And my boss, within 2 days of that conversation that I had with our CEO, said, you've got to tone it down sometimes, basically. I said, really? Because your boss just told me that I should yell a little bit more. So, I'm making it a little bit cartoonish at this point, but it was really that type of, two different, and when I told him that, he laughed. He said, yeah, it's true. You and he do, use that style more often than I do, but it's really, gauging when it's appropriate, engaging when this more suggestive, type of approach works. And what's been interesting for me to see is observing him and his style, where I've adopted a lot of his mannerisms, if you will, through the years of using questions, giving advice, not direction. But he's also, developed, a more direct style. I remember earlier on, he used to say often, I tend to agree. Now it's more I agree or I disagree. And there have been situations where he's had to sort of slam his hand on the desk and say, this has got to stop. And this is why, and I've seen it work for him, and I've seen, me using his approach in certain situations where I'd have, the natural tendency to slam my hand on the desk work more effectively. So.
Yeah, I was actually thinking about that a little more. Sheryl Sandberg gives a tip to women at the TED Talk, and in her book, she says, sit at the table and lean in. So how do you ensure that as a woman you're heard, and that your ideas are known with due credit given? Nancy, you yell.
I don't yell as much anymore, though. And I've heard more, and actually, and through that good coaching, I think, that I've gotten from my boss over the years, I listen a lot more. And the coaching was, as you do progress and you take on more responsibilities, in order to empower people and really, have them be accountable for you know, what they're supposed to deliver. If you're always directing and you know, explaining how things have to be done, they'll constantly use you as a crutch. You know, that those judgment calls won't be able to be made without you in that room. You know, so what I've done, you know, more and more